we're looking at how important the Chinese consumer is to some of these luxury brands. They account here for a major portion of revenues. And this is a very important traveling holiday. 3 billion trips, according to the Chinese government, were anticipated before this outbreak. How are you breaking down the impact?
When you think about the impact overall, keep in mind that it is the most important time of the year. They're on a 40-day holiday right now. And the trips that they take, last year it generated $74 billion in travel sales and nearly $150 billion in shopping and food. So it is an impact. We're going to get more luxury goods numbers next week, given that LVMH reports. But it's an impact given the global travel that they have. If it gets under control, sentiment can come back quickly, and that's what you have to watch.
Is the shopping impact really relegated to these centers of commerce in China that are under lockdown, under quarantine, or do you think there will be a bleed-over effect to, I mean, Macy's and Ralph Lauren already said that they've seen international tourism into the United States down for the last 5 years.
Right.
Could that have a bleed-over effect here?
It easily could, because when you think about Chinese shoppers, it's around 35% of luxury goods sales, and you have almost half of it being traveling Chinese. Keep in mind that overall, they can certainly purchase online and e-commerce, so can it benefit the Tmals or the Alibabas of the world? That's what you have to see, too. We need to see how long this goes on. Burberry just reported the other day, and it's waiting to be seen what the overall impact is.
Which companies are most exposed to the region?
Swatch. When you think about most exposed, it's Swatch that is the most exposed on a global luxury basis. You have companies like Nike that was mentioned earlier. That's around 20% of their sales coming from China.
And what's the lesson from the previous issues like SARS in 2002 and 2003? I guess China is a much bigger percentage of sales today than then. That said, as you mentioned, online shopping is much bigger part of the pie as well, which probably offsets it.
Right. When you think about last time, in the 3-month time period when it struck, you had some of the luxury goods names in particular down almost mid-teens. This time, if it can show that it's under control, can we have not as big damage? But given the fact that it's starting with the start of Chinese New Year's, that's what's unfortunate and how disruptive it is, because it's a significant part of consumer spending.
Dan, do you think that this will just put off demand? I mean, if someone's going to buy a Moncler coat, are they still going to buy it and just put it off until they can be out shopping? After you've been quarantined for a week or a weekend or for however long it lasts, then isn't there going to be a big rush to go out and catch up?
People plan these trips up to a year in advance, so you can't say you get everything back. You always will lose something if you can't be there at that point in time, especially since these trips were booked so long ago.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously the travel issue is the big one. I think the luxury goods are likely to snap back sooner than anything else. But here's the thing about this. This comes at a really difficult time for the Chinese consumer. When you think about where Chinese GDP was, it was about to print the lowest print in decades right now. And I think your question, Will, going back to SARS, GDP was going from low single digits back in the early 2000s up to double digits during that period. And it really didn't kind of come back. Now we're going the opposite way. And I think this just comes at a really bad time, especially when we know that the Chinese economy has been hampered by these tariffs. So to me, I just think it's a difficult setup. And also, I'm going to throw in another thing. The dollar started rallying. The dollar wasn't supposed to rally in 2020.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. And the longer this kind of hangs around the rim, sentiment is going to be dampened.
But oil prices have softened, which I guess is a bit of a help.